Hey Wizards, I want to talk to you about Golgari Elves today. Once again, another tribal. I love tribal so much, I'm semi-considering renaming my channel's Tribal MTG. Let's get into this though. Most of this is the same as my other elf tribal deck. We're running Leaf Crowns, we're running Elvish Archdruids, we're running Perfects, we're running Elites. These are just such good green elf cards. Go ahead and throw Wildborn Preserver onto that stack as well. These are just important elf cards you cannot really get away from. But outside of the Visionary, which will be a big hit, a lot of these don't rotate anytime soon. I guess Perfect does as well. So September is going to hurt the deck a bit. The rest of this deck is built around including a little bit of black, and that's really for Glissa Sunslayer, who is just probably one of the best elves we could play. First Strike Death Touch does things if it hits the opponent. Blade of the Elves, which is a menace 2/3 that creates elves for the amount of combat damage it dealt. And you can tap it, create 10 untapped tap 10 untapped elves you control, drain 10. Super big, especially since you can do that at the end of your opponent's turn if you're in stalled board states. And then we're in black, so we might as well run some removal. I've currently got Cut Down in the deck. I do think Go for the Throat is a valid alternative, along with Anoint with Affliction, depending on the kinds of things you're facing the most. I think probably our biggest concern is a deck that can go underneath us. We're kind of mid-rangey. And so Cut Downs take care of early mice and some black cards. It hits the stupid mono-black assassin zombie card. So that's always good. And then Banner of Kinship is really our other big win con here, which just comes down and says, hey, for the amount of elves you have on the board, give everything +1/+1 for each of them. And so you're often dropping this for 5 to 7, which means even your Llanowar Elf becomes like an 8/8/9/9. And that's before you get into Elvish Archdruid being a lord, Leaf Crown being a lord, and Perfect being a lord. This deck gets pretty nutty. I do miss Genesis Wave from the mono green version of this deck, but this deck is still absolutely fantastic. I don't think we dropped a single game with it, even against Esper Pixie, although that might have been a slightly non-standard deck for it. Lands are really run whatever fast lands you have. I've got Verges, a single Waste, and 2 Blooming Marshes. If you got more Marshes, less Verges, go up on them. I don't think you want the Surveil or Scry lands in this deck. You can sometimes take turn 1, turn 2 off, but the deck really wants to get the massive amount of elves on the board as quickly as possible. General tip with decks like this, if you're playing against a deck with colors that indicate board wipes, generally red and white, keep some cards in hand. Don't play them all out onto the field. Okay, that is everything that really needs to be said for this deck. It's a pretty straightforward playline. Let's go ahead and get into the games. Against Exide, the Ambitious. Alright, Marsh, Verge, Cut Down, Bite Down, Perfect, Banner of Kinship. This is a really weak opening hand. I'm going to mulligan it. Double Leaf Crown, double Archdruid. Not my favorite opening hand either. I think we get rid of one of the Archdruids here and hope the Leaf Crowns let us draw into everything else we need. A little disappointed that our low cost drops, though, aren't here. I mean, I guess the Leaf Crown is pretty low, but it's not exactly what I was thinking of. We do need to do Llanowar Elves or Llanowar Wastes into Verge here in order to get the Leaf Crown off. Fortunately, Verge is green first, black second, which works quite well into this deck. Yeah, go ahead and bin one of these Archdruids. We'll play Verge first, Waste second, Leaf Crown. See if it gets removed. Probably Leaf Crown again. But we won't have the green at current rate to do the draw. Okay, we still go and play the Leaf Crown. But we might just do Elvish Archdruid instead next turn. We do draw Blade of the Elves off the top, which is a fun alternative win con for us. Optimistic Scavenger gets +1/+1. It is a 2/2. They'll probably swing in with that. No real reason not to. Drop us to 17. Yeah, we find Wildborn Preserver. Not insane. Leaf Crown is now a 2/2. We could arguably trade that the Scavenger. I actually think ours is better value. Oh man, the Momentum Breaker. I think it's got to be the Visionary, because the Elvish Archdruid gives us a additional green mana source, and we might really need that. Let's just drop the Blade of the Elves, but oh man, we're running against Esper Pixie here. Or Esper Bounce. I don't know if the Pixie is here. This is a great deck. I don't know how we're ever going to fare. Drop us to 10. What do we need to find here? Elves. We just need to find a ton of elves, right? So we can play this first. Get 2 elves, which brings us up to 3 additional mana. And we play the Preserver. Right? Could play the Leaf Crown. We could actually go all the way out and play the Blade. Can we play both? We have 4 mana. Yeah, we can play both. Let's just do both. Leaf Crown Visionary comes down. Gives everything +1/+1. And then we'll also drop Wildborn Preserver, who, because they are also an elf, will actually do enough damage to kill Fear of Isolation here. This was pretty much the turn we needed. That was great. We've now got 5 elves on board. We've got a lot of damage. The Elvish Archdruid was actually the right keep for sure. That additional mana is just so huge in this tribal. Shard Mage's Rescue and the Fear of Isolation gives Scavenger the +1/+1. Nope, Fear. They want that extra damage to be able to go face. Makes a ton of sense. Momentum Breaker. Can we sacrifice token off this? I don't recall. We'll find out shortly. We can, so we get rid of the 3/3. Fear of Isolation, I can't fully block now. We have Drain 10 on Lathril. We have to get there, and we're a far way away from it. They bounce the thing. We go down to 5. This is a really tough spot to be in. We find Swamp. We can play Lathril. We will tap for the draw. We do find Wildborn Preserver, which is fine, but we probably need to just pay 3 to get Wildborn Preserver up to its maximum value of 7. We only have to take 2 damage, probably get rid of the Elite here. Unfortunately, I don't think we can get the 10 L's we need very quickly here. Momentum Breaker comes down as the first card. No big surprise there. We will get rid of the Elite. Likeness Looter. I'm not overly familiar with this one. Okay. And they don't attack. That's pretty big for us. We'll play Wildborn Preserver. We will definitely draw a card. We find an elf, so we won't do X anything here. We'll play 5, so we now have 4. We will pay 1 of those to draw a card. We find Llanowar Elf again. We will take action on this one, go up 2, and we will decline on you. We'll play Llanowar Elf again. And it did auto-tap poorly for us. That's unfortunate. I think we decline here, take action, and go up 2 on you, so that we have a 9. You don't have Death Touch, so we could swing 4/5, see if they'll let us in. They have absolutely no reason to do so. They just block with the Fear and the Glimmer, and we don't even get to kill anything. We have 3, 6, 7 elves, so we're getting pretty close to the drain. Unfortunately, the drain does mean we have to tap those elves, which is a pretty rough spot here. If it was not tapped and just tapped Lathril, we'd actually be fine. But with that tap, it's really, really painful. Sheltered by Ghost, I presume they take away our 9/9 Preserver. They do. They get the Glimmer, or they get the Scavenger trigger. That goes up to an 8/8. Which means we have to chump block with the Wildborn Preserver. Which means unless we find a way to remove that card now, I don't see anything else we can do. We don't have anything big enough for Trample to matter. I guess Glissa and a Bite Down in that order is really our only choice. Oh, Wildborn Preserver. is a potential if we can find another elf. Perfect, if we had that out, would have been able to create an elf for us here. Elite is a card that will actually let us do the thing. Question is, could they just run out enough damage in air? It doesn't look like it. We will take the card draw there. And is this cast or enters? Looks like cast. Yeah, when you cast enough spell. So we don't get it on the token. And we did not get anything else crazy, which is fine. We now pump this up 5, 6. We could go 7 with the Llanowar. I don't think we need to. This is a 10-10. Actually, the more I think about that, I think we should. I think we're going to tap the last Llanowar as well. And then I guess we'll play Verge. Again, Bite Down would have been huge. We just don't find it. There's no point in swinging. We trade pretty much nothing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Barbed Servitor. Suspect it, so it's menace and indestructible. That's fine. And they only have a land, so we get another turn here. Drain 10 is not enough for anything meaningful yet. How many more cards have we gotten? Only 3? Did they have much card draw? I feel like we've definitely gotten more than 3 cards. Why are we only 3 cards ahead of them? I'm a little confused by that. I wasn't keeping track. I assumed they should have been using Likeness Looter, by the way. Oh, interesting. It's not lethal. It's not even close to lethal. In fact, I'm pretty sure that ends very well for us. Okay, they must realize it. They don't do anything. We'll go ahead and play Greenbelt Guardian here. We will, of course, autopay. Banner of Kinship is huge. Does Banner of Kinship let us win? I think we do put up Wildborn Preserver by 2 here. Actually, I don't think we do that. I think we just do Swamps. Resolve. Tap Elvish Archdruid. Everything gets the power. They are forced to block huge here, right? And we can give something trample. We gotta do some math, though. So we tap Elvish Archdruid for Banner of Kinship. We swing a ton of damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 elves. God dang it. Everything gets +9. So we get 11. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think this is too good not to do. We, of course, declare Elf, and they scoop. We beat Pixie. Ooh! Close game. There were some very, very crucial draws. Getting, I think, all of our Wildborn Preservers. I think we run 3, and I think we saw 3. Maybe, yeah, we saw 3. I think that's all of them. Super crucial. Lathril was actually threatening good things here. Another elf, and I'm pretty sure we could have just tapped this at the end of their turn when they didn't swing, tapped out our elves, done drain 10, and then untapped everything again. So this was getting ready to start really, really threatening them. Banner of Kinship, of course, coming down in this board state does a lot. We were able to weather the Momentum Breaker's repeated sacrifice triggers. Leaf Crown, of course, doing so much work. We ended up 5 cards ahead of them. I feel like it should have been more, but maybe 5 is correct. Whew. GG. Really cool win. I don't know that this is the normal Esper list, for instance, we didn't see Pixie. Yeah, super stoked with that, though. Super, super stoked. Yunshi, Standard Bearer. Swamp Forest, Llanowar, Preserver, Banner, Guardian. None of our lords, none of our card draw. I think this might be okay, though. I think a lot of its value does somewhat depend on whether they bolt the elf or not. We'll see. They don't, it's planes. They can't bolt with the planes. I think we go Greenbelt Guardian first. Get in for 1. Next turn, we probably double Wildborn Preserver. White, blue. They reveal Resolute Reinforcements. Okie dokie. We could kill that. I think we're kind of just okay to build our board here, though. We don't have the mana. Yeah, we can actually swing the 2/2. That's fine. They just eat it. They're what? Presumably soldier tribal here? I mean, between the beachhead and the resolute and the patchwork banner, if they declare soldier, yeah. Pretty straightforward. Okay. Leaf ground is big for us. I think we decline both of these so that we can do bite down with the green belt against the reinforcements. And then swing 9. And if we draw a mana next turn, we get to drop Banner of Kinship and probably just win the game. Reinforcements number 2. It's not bad, but it's not it. Valiant Veteran. I don't know what this does. Core Soldier, other soldier. Oh, it's a Soldier Lord. Okay, big for them. We don't draw the land. That's fine, because what we do draw is the second bite down to kill their Lord with. Everything they have drops down to 2/2s. And then I think we swing 9 again, force them to start doing blocks. They could triple block here. Or double block something. Okay. I mean, we just say Greenbelt Guardian, give it trample as well. Still get in 7 damage. Couldn't have exhausted it. That costs 4. Looks like they can play the soldier from the graveyard, by the way. No. Exile it, put a +1/+1 on each soldier. When this enchantment enters, exile each target non-land permanent controls until this enchantment leaves the battlefield. Wow. Board sweeper. Oh no, just 1 creature. Okay. I mean, they kill our lord. That makes sense. And then a second veteran. So now they've got 3 3/3s. Which is enough to completely stonewall me. We can play Blade of the Elves. It's not a lord. So we can't attack into this. But the 2/3 menace is not bad for sure. Glissa would be a lot of fun. Patchwork Banner number 2 comes down. That's also going to be claimed as Soldier. Which now means they have 3 4/4s, which is getting pretty terrifying. Caretaker's Talent also comes down. Doesn't really do anything yet, but they do have tokens to start working it next turn. And they scoop. Yeah, they can't block. So, cool. We had just enough damage there with the Menace, actually. Lathril, Blade of the Elves. He hasn't actually done the thing ever for me, but he keeps threatening the things. The Menace and the tap. And that is often enough. We also could have just drawn the land next turn, Banner of Kinship, and they're definitely dead. So, GG. I think we were pretty much always winning that. But it was starting to get sketchy with the double Patchwork Banners and the Lord out. Erica Willie. Okay. Swamp Force, double Llanowar, double bite or single bite down, Banner of Kinship. I don't love this. I'm actually tempted to mulligan this because the Llanowar Elves don't ramp into anything unless we draw to something, and we could just draw a bunch of land. The Banner of Kinship at the top end isn't awful, but this is a bit of a risky keep because we just don't have any bomb in hand. Granted, our real bomb is just play a bunch of elves. Heir Apparent. Okay, this could be a long game. We find Elite, and I think we just play out all the elves. Ooh. Yeah, we just play out all the elves this turn. We might need to bite down the Heir Apparent next turn. We have 4 mana on the table, so we actually have Banner of Kinship next turn if we want. And Banner of Kinship for 4 is not bad. Is that what we're doing, or are we biting down one of the elves? They give us the opportunity to trade a hair for one of ours. I don't think I need to. Imperious is big. I've got 5 mana, so I can actually do bite down. Yeah, I think we do this. Imperfect, Imperious Perfect, Elite, kill a hair, kill one that can block, swing 5, Banner of Kinship next turn. And we should get 5, which makes everything 7 or 8. Nothing is trample without the Greenbelt. We don't have Greenbelt yet. Okay, they're doing good things, though. Like, this is a good Heir Apparent deck, from what I know about them. I haven't actually played one. Maybe I should. Built like a kind of a solved deck by the time I came on to the scene. Okay. We clear Elf. And we do swing here, right? We threaten lethal easily. They got to block at least 2 creatures. And they don't have the 13 swing back, so this should be fine to swing full board. I wonder, does the Heir Apparent deck run the Banner of Kinship? Yeah, they block all 3. They still take a massive 7 damage to the gnome. To the gnome. To the dome. Warren Wardleader. Whenever you attack, choose 1. Okay. I mean, they get a fair amount of damage in, but it just isn't... Oh. Okay, we're just gonna do this, but that is a hilarious outcome. Yeah, and they scoop. Not surprising. Ooh, boy. Super fun deck.